Hello, hello. How you fellas doing? Hello to my masculine energies out there. Welcome, welcome back to this channel, Masculine Empowering Oracles by me, Maglitas. I am back to give you guys your Monday reading. Before we start, let me just give you a sound to ring in the new day of the week. Happy Monday. That sound is the start of another new day for the week ahead. Can't believe we have already gone through 1 week and is now to embark on another week ahead. I hope everyone's weekend went well. I hope you had a very good, positive, and a very nice weekend. As you can see, I am back to my original initial setup space because the weather has been what's the word I'm looking for? The weather has been cooperative, to say the least. So I think the heat wave, is safe to say, is finally over. So I have resumed my filming back into the kitchen. So guys, with that being said, let us get started into your reading for today. But before we start, let us handle some business, and that is to sage our energy field between us at this time, to remove any negative energies, anything that is going to vibrate high, as this channel is about elevating to our highest frequency, elevating, bringing all things positive in our life. And anything that's less than that is not acceptable at this time. So we're going to sage so that we are off to a very positive and an inspiring experience moving forward. Spirit of the highest white light, please cleanse the energy field between me and my masculine energy audience at this time, so that the information that comes and is conveyed to them will be of love, light, and genuineness. All right, everyone. So now that we have cleared our energy field, let us begin into your reading for today. So, as I have mentioned very briefly, I just will say, just in case some of you took a break and haven't been tuning into the videos, if you missed the video where initially in starting the video, I was shuffling the deck that I am using for this channel, and I will pull a card. But as I've mentioned in other videos, that in doing so, it's kind of a little time consuming, but I'm also running into sometimes picking up the same cards that was drawn from a previous reading. So moving forward, I will be pre-shuffling and will be pulling out cards just to see what subject matter and areas that I will want to discuss moving forward. All right, so I did pull out cards from each deck, 2 cards from your archetype deck that is being used for this channel, and I'm also pulled out 2 cards from your message from your spirit guides. Okay, we all have spirit guides, and so we need to also understand and see how inspiring and what messages there lies coming in from our spirit guides as well. All right, so with that being said, let's jump right into the cards that I've chosen for this reading on this Monday. So the first card from your archetype deck is Resurrection. Now that we are back closer, you'll be able to see the images better, as opposed to before I was filming from the room and the distance was kind of further apart. And the next card is the Reward. And then your angel cards, or your message from your guides I pulled out, was Make Each Day Count. And then the other card I pulled out is Have an Attitude of Gratitude. All right, so let's get into the messages from these cards and see how encouraging this will be. Now, just know, as I've always mentioned, that only take what resonates. If you find that this reading or this video doesn't quite resonate with you, it's okay. It's just not your story. But tap into my other videos that have been previously recorded for you. There you might find a subject matter, a message that does resonate with something that you have done, that you have been through, or that you are dealing with, and that might resonate more for you. But just know that when I do these readings, that the messages that is conveyed is not going to always resonate with each and every one of you at the same time. So if, like I said, if it doesn't, just take what does, and what doesn't, just leave for your fellow viewers. All right, everyone? But this is for all masculine energies, and it doesn't depend on what sign you are. Just know, again, that the messages here is just to inspire you, to motivate you, and to encourage you in some form, in some way or another. And besides, if the messages you feel doesn't resonate with you personally, you might have a male friend that perhaps is dealing with something, and you can definitely put them on to this channel and let them hear the messages that you think would resonate with them, and something that you think that they would truly appreciate from. Because at the end of the day, everyone needs inspiration. All right, so that's the most important thing. All right, so let's get into resurrection. Now, the very last channel, or the very last, I'm sorry, I'm on this channel, the last video that was uploaded was talking about tests and trials. And the question pertaining to that was that we all experience tests and trials and struggles, but the question was, how well do you cope with them? So I kind of want to think, as I was looking at these cards, or as I pulled them out, it kind of is somewhat of a continuation, or it just like a recap of the message that was pointed out with that last video. The tests and trials that faces all of us, but particularly with the masculine energies, you know, a lot of times when we go through tests and trials and struggles, we always either one or two things. We take them personally and think that there are an attack on us, or that it's challenges that perhaps we cannot overcome or deal with. And sometimes when we get that way, when we feel that the challenges or those trials is too much for us, we allow ourselves to stay in that energy of feeling low, as if there is no way out. But like with anything, it's always in our power. We have divine power that is within us. So we all have the power to change and shift our perspective, our mindset, and to find the strength from within to be able to overcome or to see things from another perspective. All right. And so with that being said, it takes us to the resurrection card that I pulled for today from your archetype deck. Resurrection, if you notice, this is someone who's like ascending. He's being elevated, or has actually elevated himself to his highest self. And so in tapping into the message that came in from your last video about the tests and trials, it was like a learning experience. It was a lesson to be learned. And this is how we all should look at tests, trials, and struggles, as lessons that they come as experience for us to be able to learn from and moving ahead, so that if we do experience those same types of challenges, those same type of struggles, we would be able to deal with them better, be able to cope with them better. But as I mentioned with the last videos, that sometimes those tests and trials may have been put there just to test one's own strength and faith, not only in oneself, but also in your belief system, with your God, whoever it is that you believe in. Sometimes the universe wants to see just how strong you are and enduring. They want to see if you have what it takes to persevere, to also, if you can't, how open, how comfortable you are to go to your spirit guides, to go to your angels, because they are there to help and protect us. But not only to protect us, but they are there to help us to get the answers that we need, that we struggle with. And so resurrection is an ascending energy that you guys, if this resonated with you the last reading, and if you are actually in the process of ascending to understanding that the struggles that you have, it's just there to be a lesson. It's just there to experience how far you have come. Because in life, we all know we're going to be hit with some kind of a challenge. We're going to be hit with some kind of test and trials. But at the end of the day, the main focus is, you know what they say, it's not when you fall. What matters is that you rise up above the challenge, right? So that now you can take on another challenge. Because life itself, it's not going to keep us from getting challenges. But the more and more that we're able to, as quickly as they come, the more we're quickly able to rise and to, move forward, and it's in our resolve to not keep us down, then it would seem like we are dealing more with tests and trials, because it's something in us that says, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let this challenge, I'm not going to let this trial or this test bring me down. You know what they say, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. So this energy just shows that if some of you was dealing with the situation from last week, and in fact that, you were dealing with some type of test or challenge, that you have ascended, you have arisen, and you are actually in the transition of elevating yourself to the best version of yourself. All right? So that's what the resurrection card is. Let's go into the book. I already turned to the page, so I wouldn't have to be searching for it, as this book, how it's set up and how you get to the subject, it's kind of like, you got to really go through it. So anyway, the card of resurrection, so you can get more on how this can apply to you and the meaning behind it. It says, the quest or a call for change can leave scars on the soul. For the hero to fully come back from the journey, he must be purified. He has experienced significant loss along his quest and must be reborn. The process of resurrection is internal. So the transition, you're elevating and ascending, remember, it starts from within. Everything that we do, it starts from within. And all that we activate from the inside will eventually transmute to our external. It says, when you undergo a great change, old patterns might no longer work for you. An example would be coming home from traveling and realizing some of your friends were unhealthy and needing to reinvent your social circle without them. Stand true to the new version of yourself, and eventually others will see the changes in you. Ask yourself how you viewed yourself before the quest and how it has changed. If you hold on to your old identity, you will never incorporate skills you acquired along the journey. If you don't allow your identity to embrace a resurrection, you may be doomed to endure the same trials on repeat. And that's what I was saying. If you don't embrace this ascension, if you don't embrace the internal energy from within, because there's a power that lies with all of us. We all have divine power. So if you don't tap into that inner knowing to help you to rise above those tests and challenges and trials, as it said, you are doomed to open yourself to repeating those same tests, same trials, same challenges. And I don't think nobody really wants to embrace more challenges than they need to, right? But at least this way, if you come out of those challenges having learned the lesson, haven't looked at it as an experience and not a personal attack, then and only then you can see the progress that you have made in ascending, and truly can say, I have become the hero that I know that was within me. Okay? So that is the message there with resurrection. Okay? So like I said, this is not going to resonate with all of you, but again, this is kind of like an extension to the last video. And if you haven't seen that video, please go back, please go check it out, and you'll see. And then you'll see how this video messages kind of connects to that. All right? And so moving on to your next archetype card, it talks about the reward. So what reward? So we're talking about having ascended to our higher self. Well, there's a reward that comes along with embracing your change, with embracing your ascension, a reward that comes with knowing that you were the hero that didn't stay wounded. You want the hero that didn't embrace change. You want the wounded hero that didn't want to make that change for the better so that you could see yourself ascending to something better. You, in fact, have the reward that lies there with you. And that reward can simply just be an accomplishment. Something that we accomplish, any accomplishment in life is always like a reward in itself, especially when it's something that we have done or accomplished, not something that maybe somebody else accomplished for you. When other people have done something for you, the accomplishment or the feeling of it doesn't seem the same. It's not the same. But when you have accomplished something for yourself and you have done well and you're seeing the results of it for the better, for the positive, there is a magnificent feeling of knowing that I did that. I had the strength. I had the endurance. I had the willpower to shift and change the outset and the onset and the outcome to what it was that was kind of keeping me down, keeping me depressed, keeping me at a space or an energy that I really wasn't feeling, an energy that I really didn't want to be in. And so you took it upon yourself. You went into yourself because there lies your divine power. I did mention in that last video that we all have divinity. You have divinity in you. You have to tap into that power to know that you have the control, the ability to change the narrative of how you want your life to be. And whatever internal battles that you may be facing, it's always in you to shift that. And that it's also something that is just there temporary. And we can change our perspective on how we look at any challenges, any trials and tests that we might face or that it might come up in my life, because life is going to present us with tests and trials. But we want to be able to diminish how much of those challenges we bring into our life. Some is unavoidable. Sometimes it happens. But sometimes it's there to just, as I mentioned, curveballs. Curveballs come. But as quick as they come, they can be redirected and tossed back out to something that we have had the strength enough and had the dexterity, so to speak, to have that dexterity, that change. Because if you don't have that dexterity or that type of movement to be able to grasp that curveball that we don't want or that we didn't ask for, and to be able to turn that around and redirect it away from us, then we are stuck with that same experience, right? So in order for us to grow and evolve from that, we need to be able to shift our mindset, shift the energy, shift to know that whatever problems that come to us, it's just only temporary until we redirect it, all right? So the reward here is actually just within ourselves. Sometimes we have to know to give ourselves a pat on the back. Sometimes we have to treat ourselves to our accomplishments, and sometimes we don't. We always look to other people to give us a reward, to give us a gift. Well, we can give ourselves whatever it is that we have accomplished something positive, especially coming out of those challenges. It's very rewarding. So go ahead and reward yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back and say to yourself, I did it. I was the hero that ascended to my higher self. And know that in being this hero, once the hero have ascended or started his ascension, there's always going to be a reward at the end because of your accomplishment, because of your willpower, your determination, your fight, right? Generally, if you lose a fight or you don't have that willpower to accomplish something or finish something, generally there's not going to be a reward. It's nothing that's going to be there for you to feel that you accomplished something, because you kind of left it, you walked away, and you gave up, right? So don't give up. Know that at the end there will be a reward, even if it's realizing one own self for his accomplishment and what he has done. All right, so that's the message there for reward. We're going to go and see what other further meanings reward has and what it means when you do receive this reward. 75. Okay, so reward. After succeeding in the quest, because you have succeeded, the hero gains a great reward. It can be a physical treasure, but the most valuable bounty is internal. The reward could be profound wisdom, self-confidence, healing the land, or protecting loved ones. The reward represents a significant shift in the hero. He has gained something that will transform the rest of his life. The hero can now return home with this great boon. The journey isn't yet completed, but the change has taken root. When in this stage of the journey, look toward your successes. It's easy to forget to celebrate your accomplishments and just move to the next. Let me repeat that again. It's easy to forget to celebrate your accomplishments and just move to the next challenge. Take a moment to look at your victories. Appreciate the art project you have finished. Honor the value of your intimate relationships, and take time to enjoy what you gained from your hard work. So not only are there rewards in one accomplishing his successes, but also a reward that comes from the victories in other areas of your life, in your intimate relationships, with your family, even projects that perhaps you didn't get to finish, but now you finished it. So whatever project that was left that you didn't get to finish, let's just say a week ago, now it just kind of shows me that perhaps some of you have actually went back to it, finished it, and you are happy with that success, and that in itself is a reward. Again, anything that we have completed and it's been successful, coming from our own work and labor, it's always going to be a positive accomplishment, and it's truly something that we can feel that it was a gift and a reward in itself. All right, so those are the two messages that came from your archetype deck. We're going to move quickly to your angel guide messages and see what they have, and we're going to wrap this up. Let me just hydrate. I don't want to make this video too long. I always try to aim at keeping this video or keeping my videos on this channel 30 minutes or less. I don't want to be too long drawn out so as to kind of miss the point. Sometimes it doesn't require a very long extended video to drive home the point. All right, so I kind of want to keep it, give you enough inspiration but not overdo it. So moving on to your angel messages, the card that I picked today was Make Each Day Count. All right, so I think that ties in perfectly with your archetype cards in terms of your successes, your wins, your victories, your accomplishments. Make each day count. So despite those tests, despite those challenges were there for that day, for that moment. But when you have picked yourself up, you are ready now to face, if it should come, another challenge. But don't let it stop you moving ahead. Keep moving and make each day that you move something positive, and to take each day as it comes. All right? So that's the message coming in from your spirit guide. And then the other one is having an attitude of gratitude. I talked about this today on my other channel, and a lot of times, because when we are hit with challenges, sometimes when we are going through those tests and trials, sometimes in life, that would be the very moment that we become less grateful because we take those challenges, we take the things for granted that happens in our life as an attack. And we say to ourselves, well, I'm going through this, I'm dealing with this challenge, I'm going through this trial, I'm going through this test. How can I look at life to be positive? What do I have to be grateful for? No, that is not the attitude that we should have. We should take every little thing, as small as it may be, for something that we should be grateful for. We should look at it as, in a humble manner, we should be humble for those small little things. The more grateful we are, the more opportunities of graciousness will come in from the universe, will come in abundantly, because we took the time each day to just give grace. The blessings and the things that we have that we take for granted, that we might not be grateful for, might be things that the next person might look at and say, wow, I wish I had what they had. You know, sometimes we have to kind of look at it from that perspective, because the things that we take for granted, other people wish they had. They may look at your life and say, wow, they really have it, you know, have it made. I wish I had this. And in my other video, I mentioned that in being grateful, it's just the one major thing that we have to be grateful for is life itself. If you woke up and you still have a roof over your head, you have your home, you're able to go out, use your key to return back home, you have a bed to lay down, you go into your kitchen, you go into your refrigerator, and there is, excuse me, there's a call coming in. I'm just going to decline it. Sorry about that. You're hungry, you go into your kitchen, you go into your refrigerator, you take out something to eat. That right there is something to be grateful for, because as we know, there are many people who are homeless, there are many people who are starving, and there are many people who are in situations, speaking about challenges, those challenges that they go through. And we always have to look at that sometimes our challenges is not as big as we may think. And generally, this has happened to me, where I might think what I'm going through is like something challenging. But then when I engage in a conversation with someone and they hear their story and their challenges, it's like, wow, it makes my challenge look very small, but at the same time, it makes me grateful in a situation where I would have taken for granted. And it just makes me more appreciative of the things that I do have in life, if that makes sense. All right. I'm going to actually read on this right quick before we close out, so we can get more of a reading or understanding of having an attitude. And that should be actually our motto or our mantra each and every day. I'm going to wake up and have an attitude of gratitude. All of us should have, no matter what gender, all of us should have and adapt that mantra. I'm going to have an attitude of gratitude. In fact, I did mention that we also should have a gratitude list. And on the gratitude list, you're going to write down, even if it's just one thing, because regardless of what it is that is going on in our life, there's going to be, I guarantee you, one thing that we can look at and say, yes, this is something I can be truly grateful for. So pull out a piece of paper, get your pen, and make a list. It might be one, it might be two things, it might be quite a few things, several things that you are truly grateful for. And write it down. And then revisit it every now and then. But then on the other side, perhaps now you can write down the things that you want to attract, things that you want to be able to express more in a bigger way later on in the future. So those are the things that you can kind of work on. But definitely look at your gratitude list and look at it each and every day, because then that will keep you appreciative and will give you that attitude of gratitude flowing each and every day. All right, guys. So let's read what it says. Having an attitude of gratitude. It says, although it may not always seem so, life on earth is a gift that you have given to yourself. Just like I said, life itself is something to be truly grateful for. Every person you meet and every situation you experience is to be received positively, because each one is a chance to learn. Everything is a lesson, And regardless of whether you choose to spend a moment with the lesson or decades, it is always for your benefit. So approach everything in life with a positive, gracious attitude, because these experiences have been given to you for your advancement, for your growth, for your evolvement. It's often difficult to accept that the events we perceive as negative or bad are actually beneficial. But try to open up your awareness to the bigger picture of what am I learning from this experience. If this card appears, it can also mean that you have started to take the good things that you have entered in your life for granted. Learn to count your blessings. All right? All right, fellas. So I really hope that the messages here from the cards that have been drawn for you today was truly encouraging, very inspiring for you. And if they were, you know what to do. Go ahead, don't be bashful, don't be shy. Drop me a comment to the comment section, but as well smash that thumbs button up to give me a like. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And last but not least, share with your fellow buddies to get them on board, to be empowered, to get inspired, to be motivated, and to help them, as well as yourself, to step into the warriors you all were meant to be. So until your next read, everyone, I'm wishing all of you a wonderful Monday day. Wishing all of you a wonderful Monday, enjoying the rest of your afternoon, and think positive. Be the hero of knowing that it's in you to ascend, okay? The energy of ascension lies with you. So keep that focus going and all will be okay. Until the next time, I'm wishing all of you peace, love, and light. Bye.